This is the iPhone 11 Pro review. Now, this phone is one that I've struggled to review because I'm not really an iPhone user. I have an iPhone, but I don't really use it that much. But I thought, you know what, let me give it a go. Now, the phone in my hands right now is the 256 gigabyte version, and it's been pretty good. For the last couple of days I've been using it. The camera has surprised me actually. Apple's done very well with this version. As you can see, it looks good. I won't show any pictures in this video, but yeah, the camera quality is pretty good. The front and the rear quality surprised me very well. I will make a full camera review later on. Now, when it comes to this beautiful iPhone, the back itself is really beautiful. It has a weird textured glass to it, but it feels nice. The camera bumps are nice. So you can see that there's a volume switcher on the left hand side, a volume rocker buttons. It just feels right. This phone feels good in the hands. The weight is perfect. It's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. But yeah, this phone does feel nice in the hand. It's a good size. I don't like the iPhone 11 Pro Max. That's a little bit too big. But yeah, it feels good. The old glass, old metal feeling is nice. The glass back, the glass front, it just feels nice. It feels premium. Like, look at the back. It just looks right. Let me put it down real quick. But it just, I like it. It's really surprised me. If you get this phone, you can really tell that you spent a lot of money on it. It's over £1,000. And it's a really good phone. I love the gold one that I'm touching right now, and it's got a lightning adapter, which I don't like. I prefer Type-C, which every device now has besides Apple. Come on, Apple. And this table has sweets in it because it's locked down and I like sweets. It's snacking. Anyway, back on the phone. This phone is good, but let me look at what I currently use when I feel bored sometimes. Just, to reminisce, to go back. And this is the iPhone 6s. Now, this is a rose gold version. It's nice. I got this phone about 2 years ago. As some of you guys know, I don't really sell my phones. When I buy a phone, I just keep it forever, basically. So this is the rose gold version. It's a lot smaller than the iPhone 11 Pro screen size, but when it comes to the actual form factor, they are very similar. So the iPhone 6 compared to the iPhone 11 is very similar in size. In the back, you can see that the iPhone has a smaller camera bump. iPhone 6 by far. You can see the antenna bands all over the iPhone 6s. It's a couple years ago, so Apple has come far, very far, which has really surprised me. So as you can see, they're very similar in size, but they feel different. The metal back and the glass back, I prefer the glass. The glass feels better. They are about the same thickness, surprisingly. Apple hasn't changed that much in terms of thickness. Weight is very similar, actually, even though the iPhone 11 is a bit bigger, so that's good. Look at the footprint, very similar phones. Same placement for volume rocker, volume buttons, power buttons, lightning charging. So yeah, and obviously the iPhone 6 has got the earphone jack, and the iPhone 11 has space for it, but Apple. I really struggle with Apple. After the iPhone 6s, it just went downhill, because for some of us who are pro users or who like to use good wired earphones, yeah, this sucks. Although you can use an adapter, but it's fine. But yeah, this is how similar they are in terms of side by side. I do prefer the iPhone 11 Pro. It's a massive jump to the iPhone 6s, and the fingerprint scanner does work perfectly, and it's pretty quick, but obviously the IR blaster is much faster than the fingerprint scanner, because I have not updated the iPhone 6s for a long time. So I won't lie to you, I still prefer the fingerprint scanner on the front. The iris scanner and the facial scanner on the iPhone 11 Pro is good, but I just prefer pressing a button. On the Samsung side or the Android side, there's under display fingerprint scanners, which is good. So let's just do a benchmark with Antutu to just see how these compare to each other. Now, once I press start on both of these devices, I can guarantee you that the iPhone 11 Pro will be much faster, guaranteed. And I don't know how much, maybe 20% faster. But this is a much newer phone, the latest phone that just come out from Apple. Now, normally when I do reviews, I always do a benchmark either on 2.2 or Geekbench 4/5. So this will really give us an in-depth look to see in detail which phone is better. And obviously, the better and faster phone always finishes first when it comes to benchmark. And these are just numbers. Real life is a bit different. So let's just see what it comes down to. So yeah, big difference in numbers. We have here 384,000 compared to 182,000. That's silly. That is very silly. It's like twice as fast basically. And you can see that actually. Obviously similar layout in terms of how Apple works. Apple doesn't change much. So, and if we look at these numbers when it comes to CPU for single core and multi-core, we can see that the iPhone is by far better, oftentimes double as better, the iPhone 11. But for example, single core, it's only about 20%, 30% better on the iPhone 11. So it's not all areas, but in some areas it's double as fast, and some other areas it's 20%, 30% as fast. But in general, the iPhone 11 Pro is faster as a phone, has better scores, which is good. So yeah, this really didn't surprise me that much, but the iPhone 11 Pro is doing very, very well. It has the Apple A13 Bionic chip, which does make it faster. That's the main reason why this phone is so fast, of that Bionic chip that's in there. And it's also got a lot more in it in terms of the features that this phone does have, and compared to the previous generations of Apple devices, it's better in that aspect actually, but not that much. It's just better in general. Apple love to do incremental changes, small changes. This is how Apple operates. If Apple made the best phone possible, which they can, nobody would buy the next generation. And that's why they make small little changes. They can put the best features in it, but you know, Apple's a business, they gotta survive. So they make small and small and small changes. And it's only when you look back like 5 years or 6 years that you can see the big jumps. Whereas with other manufacturers besides Apple, who use Foxconn in China, they make bigger jumps. That's why I love, you know, Oppo and Xiaomi and OnePlus, because they really push the boundaries, whereas Apple take it slowly a little bit. But again, it was good to have a look at this phone. It surprised me. I liked it. It felt good. I understand it. If I was an Apple user, I would upgrade to this phone. It's worth it for the price. It's over $1,000, but most phones are nowadays. It's a beautiful phone. If you have the money, get it. If you like Apple. But if you love Android, there's other alternatives that will do the job. Thanks for watching. So please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, peace.